Idle's pretty rough, so what I'm going to do is go through and actually check a couple of different hoses. One that I noticed right away was this hose here. You can see that it's cracked and there was some tape holding it together here, and this is air that comes from the intake before it goes into the throttle body, and so air is being drawn in here, and it looks like the air that is being drawn within here from this broken pipe feeds into a bunch of other things that may control how the car idles. So I'm actually going to go through and look at a couple of other things. So this is at least one part that I'm going to need. So I'm going to put this to the side here. And I'm also going to take off this intake pipe here because there's a missing bolt and a few other things that I want to get at, especially with the turbo. I want to get down in there. I can see some vacuum hoses that look like they're not hooked up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this apart. I've already loosened some of the clamps inside. There was a missing bolt here, so I'm going to have to purchase a bolt to clamp this down better, which again, all could affect how the car idles and runs. So let's get to it. So this is the bolt right here that was missing. So again, there's a nice snug fit of this before it goes into the throttle body here. But again, there's no bolt holding it down, so who knows how well that was on there. So you can see this hose looks to be cracked, so I'll have to replace that as well. I'll probably clean this up and then also paint it black again. This was the piece that took the air from the intake that I showed earlier that had a crack in it. That went into there like that, and then a few other vacuum hoses connected from there to here. So as I was playing around with a lot of the vacuum hoses, you know, I found cracks. So I'm going to reuse these clamps. These are actually pretty nice solid clamps. They're really nice. They're not in bad shape at all, so I want to reuse those. So these were the lines to actuate the wastegate on the turbo. So I went ahead and bought a couple of these from the parts store. So there's a replacement right there. I went ahead and bought some hose. So this hose will replace that. So that should work. I also bought a larger type hose. This pipe here is slightly larger diameter than these over here. So as you can see, that fits on nice and snug. So I'm gonna use that there. And then I had to buy a slightly smaller diameter for these. It may be a little bit of a tougher fit, but it'll have to work. This hose is too big, so that's not gonna work. So we definitely wanna use that there. So this fits here. And then we'll cut some additional ones for here. And yeah, hopefully we can fix all this up, and we'll go ahead and do the smaller ones as well. So you heard how the car sounded. It sounded horrible. I couldn't even keep it started. So there was a couple of things that I found. For one, the hose that I was taking, which was this larger diameter hose, going into the intake manifold from the inlet pipe coming from the turbo before it goes into the throttle body, has a hose like this. So it's actually not a vacuum hose. This is just heater hose. And let's see, so this was the old one. So you could see that there's a nice bend to it. And so, of course, that had to get replaced. So as you can see, as you start to bend this, it starts to have a pinch in it there. So trying to get this, I thought I had it okay, but I didn't see underneath that it was pinched. So what I thought is I would take a smaller diameter heater hose that I had also purchased and actually put it inside, and that will allow me to bend the tube at that particular point without it pinching there. And it actually worked. So what I did is I did just that. So I ended up cutting my hose to size. I put another tube in here. I pushed it through. I made sure I had some WD-40 sprayed on there to help it out. And then what I did is I simply just pushed the smaller diameter tube in there, and I was able to get the bend with this in here, and it was able to maintain the hose bend without getting pinched, because this additional hose is inside it. So that was actually a good workaround. So what we're going to do is I put all that back together, and let's see if we can get it started and if it stays running. Got to make sure that the garage is open when I start this guy up. So it looks like the vehicle is now running much better now that I have all of those things taken care of. Well, it sounded like it was about to die again, but at least it stays started. So before, it wouldn't even stay started. So this is good progress. It's sounding a little better. It's able to stay running without giving it gas or anything like that. So I would say that replacing the vacuum hoses and getting them hooked up was a success.